When I first found out that I was going to be playing Juliet back in July, when Keelan told me, I started reading over the script a lot, really looking into it to try and understand her character more and understand that the journey she goes through and how she starts off. I didn't think she was that shy or quiet or anything. She was just kind of left to her own devices by her parents, and then she had the nurse there to confide in and everything. But then as it went along and as she met Romeo and she started to fall in love with him and she started to realise that there was a life outside of her parents' house and that she could really escape with him and kind of have a bit more freedom with him. But then it all just got too much for her, I think. In my opinion, it kind of became overwhelming, and it all happened so quick as well. That thy bent of love be honourable, and thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world. The different relationships between all the characters, not just between Romeo and Juliet, like the relationship between the Capulets and the Montagues, and even between Benvolio and Mercutio and Romeo themselves, the way they were all such good friends, and it only took one thing to kind of drive it all off the rails. I looked at her character and I thought about the things that connected her to me, and the things that she's going through are like the things that I would be going through as well. The most difficult thing to do was to really define the character. That took a while to do, because I'd watch different productions of Romeo and Juliet, and then I'd read all about it online, but I would also sit down and look at the script and really think about how I have to fit it to suit me as well. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning that doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Sweet good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night, good night. Well, I think in the balcony scene, Juliet is a lot more mature than Romeo. He's very straight-sided, like, I love her, I want to marry her. But she's more thinking about it like it's too rash, too sudden, and they haven't really thought about it a lot, and they only met each other that night. And I think she just wants him to relax a little bit about it and just kind of slow down. Madam, in happy time, what day is that?
Marry, my child. Early next Thursday morn, the gallant young and noble gentleman, the County Paris, at St. Peter's Church shall happily make thee there a joyful bride.
I wouldn't say she's very close to her parents, because her mother is quite cold and her father is a big businessman who, well, is out working all day. They kept her so sheltered, and they want her to be sure about the choices she makes, but also at the same time, they really want her to get married. So that kind of makes her think at the same time, well, they do want me to get married, and I do love him, so then what's so wrong with it? So the only person she really has to confide in is her nurse, who is quite a bit older than her, and she'd really be her best friend. Today I think Juliet is very like a traveller girl. She's brought up to be married, and her parents spend so much money on these weddings, big, elaborate, and I think the fact that she did marry Romeo, it would be an outcry. It would be horrible because of the feuding families, and it's not somebody that they approve of, and you can see that a lot today in the travelling community, the way it is, and all she really is someone to be sold to another family for a big wedding and for a big family and everything.
Thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints against Thursday next to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I will drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out, you green sickness carrion! Out, you baggage, you tallow face!
Why, what are you mad?
Good Father, I beseech you on my knees, hear me with patience, but to speak a word.
Hang thee, young baggage, disobedient wretch! I tell thee what, get thee to church at Thursday, or never after look me in the face.
The scene I think I most liked to perform was the scene with me and the nurse, when she comes back after meeting with Romeo, and she's telling me that he wants to marry me, and I just have to drag it over, and she's just, oh, my back, and you have to really drag it over, and I think that was really fun to do with Aileen.
What says he of our marriage? What of that? Oh, how my head aches. Oh, what a head of eye. It beats as it would fall in 20 pieces. Oh, my back. Oh, the other side. Oh, my back. Oh, my back. Oh, I'll be true your heart for sending me about to catch my death with jouncing up and down.
Faith, I am sorry thou art not well. Sweet, sweet, sweet nurse, tell me, what says my love?
Oh, your love says like an honest gentleman, and a kind, and a courteous, and a handsome, and I'll warrant a virtuous. Where is your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she is within, where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says like an honest gentleman. Where is your mother?
Oh, God's lady dear, are you so hot?
I've really learned a lot about taking in information and just looking deeper into something. And it's actually really simple. And then even from going on stage and performing it, you get a lot of confidence from it as well. And it really gives you a boost. And it makes you think, wow, well, if I can learn this Shakespeare, I can do all this and I can do it 2 or 3 nights in a row, then I can really do anything else. Anything to do with school or anything. You can just really tackle it. Oh, Romeo, Romeo. Wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or, if thou wilt be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. 'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. And what's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other word would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for thy name, I think from doing this over a couple of months, it really helps your mental health it gets you into a routine almost. You're sitting down, you're learning your lines, or whether you're in the studio, just doing it and learning them at the same time. And it really helps you to understand it a lot more, and it really helps it to go into your head a lot more. And it just really helps you look at things a lot differently. Oh, gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or, if thou thinkst that I am too quickly won, I'll be preserve and say thee nay. So thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayest think my behaviour light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess. But that though overhearest ere I was ware my true love passion, so therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love which the dark night hath so discovered. Performing Shakespeare really has helped me understand people, and it helps me understand the text a lot better as well, because you look at it and it's 2 teenagers in love who are just crazy about each other. And you see that a lot as well, even here, just downtown or with your friends or with things that you've been through yourself. And you just see how they have this connection. And even with Romeo and all their friends, you can see it too a lot. Like Shakespearean is actually really related to us as young people. And you can really see a lot of Shakespeare in young people. Speakest thou from the heart?
And from my soul too, else beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Thou hast comforted me marvellous much. Go in, and tell my lady mother that I am gone, having displeased my father to Lawrence's cell, to make confession and be absolved.
Marry, I will. This is wisely done.
Ancient damnation, oh most wicked fiend! Is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn than to dispraise my lord with that same tongue which she hath praised him with 10,000 times? Go, counsellor! Thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain. I'll to the friar to know his remedy, and if all else fails, myself with power to